was in a movie and founder Mega TV and platform we saw Ivan Kyei Innocent, a political activist now. Where we can't encoffo bon any politics with facts. A can with facts party, I won't mean Kanja Ivan Ho. And what papa. And how what on a bossy a schooly NPP Arrogant Awal Mohammed communicator. Tako what is social media and them phone. And the Munukika Awal Mohammed. Mitahe na pa na ninsam phone kika de sometimes na bi kura hin. Nina efa real run a ebekoso ewo Kwandai constituency what you say enye easy honum be busy rough. Na Rashid Tankuso deputy director of elections at the NDC ono so wakasa yenti ensema a omukan fasa election we ya ebekoso we eho na omo note down some key points bi eno na mega majimbra medi be somwo enanwumre adame minute 29th of November 2025 in the year of our Lord. Yenti and said be mesro so be like in our share, now subscribe to the channel. I normally don't bring dates, but it is very important for me to bring the happy birthday to President John Dramani Mahama. Nakopon emon kwa tintini ura na onto nkwanam. Enti obi anso a o join na we do birthday ene no. Nakopon enhira papa na oma onye among we the great people. What you see, yes, among we the great people, Yankopon Maunso, Unyasa, and Gusrano, and sa Adoni be Ujituma, Yankopon, Kase, Amen. Yenti and Senibi Koba, better also Ediamon.
Activities what resulted in the sort of this thing that we are complaining. For instance, moving the coalition from the actual electoral area to somewhere Accra to do coalition. Even some of the political parties were not involved in the secondary coalition that happened. You understand? All these things tainted the credibility of the. Well, you not hear when some of the
which ones were that are listed?
No, a lot of them you are privy to.
A lot.
Them.
Which ones?
You are not here.
That the parties didn't participate.
So the reality is that our electoral system under for
but he's asking you about the specific case.
No, there are a number of them. No, there are a number of them. Yeah. The complaints came. I spoke to Abuaje, who died quite recently in Obuasi, and I think his issue is one of them. And there are a lot of them he knows, and he's just pretending. So
Abuaje's case was resolved in Obuasi.
No.
It was resolved in Kumasi.
No, but
it was not.
Most of the cases were referred to Accra. You are aware? This guy, the minority.
You are not doing propaganda. This
Adwajiri is a classic example, and there are several of such kind. You understand?
It was the court that instructed that.
My friend, allow me.
Right.
So the fact is that
Awal just wants to be on your case this morning, but it's fine.
No, he started.
We cannot overlook the infractions, and we cannot overlook the fact that if somebody is dissatisfied with the outcome of the election, the person can proceed to court. And for me, what the person has done is within his right, and the court has pronounced the person.
Do you see this as an indicator that some more may follow? Because there are some pending issues still.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly. That's why I'm saying that this is the opportunity for us to clear all these outstanding kind of issues. Because you see, we cannot just overlook it. These days, maybe we did not record violence as you may see as violence, but in the next election, we cannot predict what is going to happen. You understand? So I think this is a perfect opportunity for us to address some of these things, because if you look at the judgment of the court, he gave specific instructions to the Electoral Commission to go and conduct transparent elections.
Oh, transparent?
Oh, yes, to go and conduct transparent elections. This is an electoral body that has been mandated to do so. So for you to be communicated in that particular faction, it means that something untoward occasion during the election, of which might tainted its integrity.
On large scale, are you not mindful of what's happening to the NPP as the minority in parliament? Because you need the minority for an effective democracy.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah, but the numbers...
but that is nobody's doing. I think if you are concerned about the numbers, let me take you back to.
You feel the numbers don't matter necessarily?
No. It's not just about the numbers, and
Because now, effectively,
we cannot play sympathy game.
The NDC can have all NPP
exactly
and activities.
So what we are witnessing today in Parliament is a testament to the fact about how the Akufo-Addo administration handled this whole country. You understand? At some point in time, for me, Ghana became a crime scene. Ghanaians were fed up with the excesses of the government, and they decided to punish the government at the polls. That is the straight explanation. So if anybody is peeved about the numbers appear to be a byproduct of the bad governance that was given to the people of this country. So if there is anything to blame,
if the elections were held today, the NPP will win, even at the national level.
No, that is a propagandist comment, because nothing has changed. Even in opposition, look at what is happening in Parliament. For me, if you look at the conduct of the minority in Parliament, and they are supposed to fact check and maybe just ensure that the government will be on its toes, you ask yourself, is that the job that they are doing today? Because if you look at the grandstanding posturing and the kind of belligerent posture that has been assumed by people like Afenyo Markin in Parliament, you don't see the element of minority fact-checking or checking the government of the day. They are just exhibiting some sort of, you don't even know how to describe the kind of attitude and the kind of language they are using. So for me, their job as an opposition, that is not even what they are doing in Parliament, you understand? So that is why people don't actually sympathize with them. For instance, during the vetting of the Chief Justice, as a minority, you were supposed to there and ask the gentleman all the questions that you want in the world. But they waived that particular option and decided to go, during the approval stage, to go and ask all the unnecessary questions at the time. And that resulted in a whole lot of scene in Parliament, which got a lot of people angry, you understand? So I think that the MPP need cool-headed individuals who will lead the party in opposition, because I keep telling people that when a political party loses power, you don't only lose power, you lose connection with the people. But as an opposition party, you might find a way to connect with the people, to be the voice of the people, because when a government is in power, very often because of certain unpopular decisions that you are likely to take, you to a certain extent disconnect with the people. So that is where the opposition fills in and be the voice of the people. But that is not what the MPP is doing. Unfortunately, today, the government is in sync with the people more than the opposition. The opposition is being seen as some kind of a fringe entity that is causing distraction and confusion in Parliament.
Really?
And, exactly, that's what they are doing. So for me, I think they need to sit their asses down, do sober reflection, and see their role as an opposition party and begin to act correctly.
Well, here's the thing. To test that, to do that litmus test, some are saying, let's go in for a by-election and we'll see if Ghanaians will reward you or give your MP the seats back.
Thank you so much. I think, let me just clear this, that when I started, I spoke to the economic indices, and he sat here to say that I did propaganda. I was thinking that he will also pick them one after the other and tell me what the NDC has been able to do. That's why I told you. He's the rep of the NDC on this show. You see, you don't call me a propagandist. Hold on. You cannot call me a propagandist after I have been able to do my presentation without you telling me where I did propaganda. That's very important. He is here to do propaganda for the NDC, no problem about it. But let me just go through to what he has addressed on the collation and so on. We're starting the topic with he has started already,
you brought
right?
your own topic.
No, I'm talking about.
You decided
He
to bring
asked
your
me
own.
these questions about.
I'll just proceed with your point.
I'm saying that we are starting with Yindam, right?
Oh yes, that's what.
Yes, because he has.
Yes, obviously.
Okay. So what he said about recollation that was done here in Accra.
Yeah.
Certain things occasioned recollation in Accra and in the regional capitals.
Yes.
The reason is that in Fantia Kwanof, the NDC sent their bandits there and they bent the Electoral Commission's office under the pretext that they had won the elections. Same as Alkwatia, same as Suhum. Don't speak because I gave you. I gave you the time to. You understand?
Listen. No. You cannot just sit here betraying.
These are matters of public record.
Which court has indicted all of these individuals that you're talking about?
Who's saying that?
Yes.
In Fantia Kwanof,
these are figment of your own imagination.
Said that they had won the elections and they went on rampage and they bent that the Electoral Commission's office. Fantia Kwanof, Akwatia, Suhum, in Sawam Adojiri. In Ashanti region, they had to kill one of our boys in Mankraso. Yes, they killed one of our boys in Mankraso. And
what did you do?
No, you cannot sit here. No, I'm coming. Why? You doesn't want to disrupt the show or what?
The question is about...
You want to disrupt the show. Why?
The question is about...
You have no proof.
Ivan, just a minute.
I'm talking about 11 constituencies that were recollated in Accra. And I'm telling you the reasons these constituencies were recollated in Accra.
The reason why we're asking that you provide some level of evidence. Because Akwetia, the by-election, I covered the Akwetia by-election.
It's not the by-election. I'm talking about the main election. The main general election.
That's what I'm saying, that you provide us with at least some lead of evidence.
It's on my Joy Online. All the things that I'm saying are on my Joy Online. Because you reported it. I'm saying that 11 constituencies were in contention.
That is a lie, because my Joy Online did not capture what you were just saying. That some people send bandits, they kill people. That is a lie.
You can check that for us, Awal. Because your allegation is quite significant.
I'm saying that 11 constituencies were in contention after the election.
I get that.
The 11 constituencies, the EC took the decision to really move
the coalition
to Accra.
Right.
And I mentioned areas. And I'm saying that this is the position of the NPP.
Yeah.
At that time.
Yeah, but what I'm saying, if you're ascribing that, hold on. If
you allow me to give in land,
if you
then you can allow you to lie.
Hold on. If you ascribe that to, if you ascribe it to the NDC without any evidence, that's where a challenge is.
Yes.
But if you make an open statement that, well, someone was killed, that would obviously be a fact, but you can't ascribe that to a certain group of people without providing evidence. That's the
You know, Kyei South.
Yes.
The EC official. NDC guys were on his neck. The video was there for him to declare. So when he was declaring, he declared that indeed 62 out of 100 and something polling stations, Baba Sadiq had won. You didn't see that too?
It's still in court, isn't it?
It is not in court.
Oh, the matter is not.
It was resolved. It was resolved.
Are you sure?
Yes, it was resolved. It was resolved. It didn't even go to court.
Are you sure?
It was resolved at the regional office. It didn't even go to court at all.
Are you sure?
That's why I'm saying that, you see, these artists, James Safeji and others are over there, so let them. I'm saying that, I'm talking about your producers, maybe it escaped you. Your producers,
that's what I know.
That case is not in court.
Are you sure about this? I thought
Patrick Buama is not in court.
No, I thought it was a part of the last four.
I'm saying that Patrick Buama is not in court. That seat is not in court. They recollated and added all the polling stations and declared for him.
Are you sure?
That is one.
Okay,
Tema Central.
Allow him to.
Tema Central. We saw that if you don't declare, I'll kill you. You didn't see that too. You didn't see that video.
Who said?
When the NDC man stood on his neck and said, if you don't declare, I'll kill you. You didn't see that video too. In Tema Central.
So
and that was also recollated here. Oh.
No, but the topic is Pandai.
But you started by saying that somewhere moved to Accra to be recollated. Do you want to tell me what I should speak?
No, I'm not telling you.
Did you bring me here to speak for the NDC? I am not speaking for the NDC. I'm not speaking for the NDC. If you're speaking for the NDC, that is fine. I'm saying that you started by saying that the recollation, the EC did some things, and that resulted to recollation in Accra.
Right.
And I'm telling you the reasons for the recollation in Accra is as a result of what your political party did in the constituencies, and they felt that the best thing for the safety of their officers there, they had to move it to a safer place. And that was what happened. And that was the reason they didn't even bring it
in this case of the Pandai situation. Right.
I'm coming to Pandai. I'm saying that 11 constituencies that the NDC said they had won. They went and bent the collation centers. Almost all the constituencies. When they did the recollation in Accra, we won all. We won all. Except Dome Kwabenya. Yes, we won all except Dome Kwabenya. And even Dome Kwabenya, our candidate came to concede before the recollation. He conceded that he had lost. So it tells you that they went and bent those coalition centers.
Wow, that's what, when you
we are on the ground somewhere telling you that was what they did.
Analogy on TV.
But I was on the ground too.
People watching you are not gullible. You cannot be making some
because I covered the
argument on TV.
So I don't think I should be brought here for him to come here as an independent person.
You cannot be making
for the argument
on TV.
And the point is,
you cannot be making such farcical argument on TV. People are watching you.
Back your because the points you're making, you agree, are quite serious. You're talking about killing and all of that.
Yes, so I am mentioning places and I'm mentioning that the NPP said that we had won that constituency.
Right.
And after winning, the NDC went and started doing all these things. After that, it was brought to Accra, and recollation was done. And we won all.
So are you saying you're
all
in Kwandai too?
After recollation, that's one. Two is that in Kwandai, you see, the NDC claimed they had won the Kwandai after the declaration. The following morning, they went on rampage after they saw that they had won the national elections. It was not the same day after declaration. It was not the same day. They were doing the declaration and he was leading with over 3,000 votes. Then they raised issues with 41 polling stations. And they said those 41 polling stations, there were infractions, and the infractions amounting to about 500 votes. Matthew Yindam, this is not the first time he's winning that seat. He won that seat in 2012 when NDC was in government with over 2,400 votes.
You mean 16?
12. That was the first time he contested the seat and won.
Okay.
He contested the seat in 2012 and won when NDC was in government. That contentious elections that we went to court, yes, he won that. In 2016, he won again. And this is the first time. At that time, that was the first time any person had won skirt and blouse twice. This is a typical NDC constituency, no doubt about it. NPP had never won until Martin Yindam came in 2012 and contested and won. And contested again and won in 2016. In 2020, he lost. We know the reasons he lost. He went back, did all the work, and won again.
Now the court says it.
Yeah, the history you're giving people who know it already. So what is the way forward?
The court, the reliefs sought by the NDC former member of parliament was that 41 polling stations must be annulled. That was the relief he sent to court, that they should annul 41 polling stations. Then the court went ahead to grant him what he did not really seek for. The court went ahead.
Well, when you say some of these things, it's a bit of a challenge. I mean, if you sustain the argument that some infractions happened with 41, as many as 41 polling stations, would that not have an impact on the outcome of the election?
It will not, because when you check the votes, the star witness in that case said that the votes that was in contention was 500 votes.
That is a lie.
Are you saying that in the parliamentary race, it's simple majority, isn't it?
Okay, so I'm coming. So granted that the 41 was annulled and it may have the impact on the elections.
Yes.
Why will you cause for the rerun of the 152 polling stations when the NDC candidate never told the court that 110 polling stations were a problem?
But the court has a discretion to exercise after examining all the facts, coming to a conclusion that something actually happened. Yes, that is no. That is. I'm responding to you. No.
Can we have a conversation like that?
But you've spoken for almost 1 hour. Blessed. The fact, let us establish the fact that
when you go to
court seeking a certain beliefs, the court
has that power.
Has that particular power to exercise the discretion.
Looking at the evidence.
The fact. You understand? So don't sit here and say that because he did this.
So in 2012,
outside his remit,
Baba Jamal went to court. He won. And they said they should run 6 polling stations in Akwatia.
Yes.
He went seeking for 6 polling stations and it was run.
Because the court realized that.
Why is it right? You're not speaking to any fact. You are only being destructive. That's all.
You are
Let's have a decent conversation where I will speak for 10 minutes. I also speak for 10 minutes.
Why you to lie? Okay, here's what we need to do. Let me also point out that Rashid Chanko, Computer Director of Elections for the NDC, is also on with us. I have my in-studio guest. Probably you want to do your take before we come back to Awal and
it's being a nuisance on the show. I'm telling you.
You are a proper.
Awal, I'll give you the time. I'll give you the time. Let me hear from you.
Good morning.
Yeah.
From the way things are going, and from the verdict or the ruling from the High Court judge at Tamale, I think this is a bad precedent, because now in the next election, that's what I'm suspecting. Next election, there are going to be more violence. If you know you're losing the election, just cause chaos. And then just cause chaos, and then people, and just go to court after the election. We also what happened during the 2024 elections in various constituencies. There were chaos all over. in 2019, we all agreed to ban vigilantism in this country. And then thanks to the president, former president, Nana Akufo-Addo, who agreed that we should ban all vigilantism in this country during elections. Now, 2024, we saw whatever that was going on. I was asking myself, did we really ban vigilantism in politics in Ghana? I was asking myself. And then, now you're in court, you can cause chaos. The next day, file a case at court and win. Then I think we are setting a bad precedent. And also, from what you saw from the Kaswa MP, the Otsena East MP, Honorable Nakoyo, speeches against the allegations he made against Honorable Akumsin, and what Honorable Mutaka came to say earlier, later. Even diffuses all the allegations she was making, and now she's still working freely. Without being invited by the CID or whoever.
But in this case of the Pandai the elections, that the court has made a pronouncement that you ought to organize.
And that's just a precedent. Maybe the next election, another court or another judge also based on this precedent or this verdict, and also passed another same ruling. But what I'm saying, what I want to say is that I want to make this clear. With the numbers the NPP have in Parliament, now we all know the NDC have their way. NDC will always have their way, but the MPP also have their say in Parliament. That's the minority. And with what the MPP members of Parliament are doing now, I think even if they are 80, they are 70, they can equally match over 200, or even if then the CMPs are more than 200 in Parliament, if MPs are about 70, they can match them equally.
All right. Any more takers? Let's do that quickly. Then I go to Rashid Computer. Yeah, come on.
Blessed. I think when Ivan comes onto this program, he's introduced as a youth activist. But
you have doubts about that?
Oh yes, I have. But he represents the NDC. And when he
even the NDC can not do. No, you're not here to tell.
Let's make progress.
You're not the host. Are you the host to check the other panelists? No, are you the host?
What is your designation?
You're not the host. Why are you checking the other panelists?
My designation is that I'm a member of AFA, and a group affiliated to the
NPP. No, you are an executive somewhere.
Yes, he's an MP.
I'm an MP.
Guys, here's the whatever the case, you have a mix. Hold on. Whatever the case, you have a mix of NDC and NPP people in the audience as well.
You are the host. You need to run affairs.
No.
He's introduced here as a...
You don't determine how I'm introduced.
No, but that's how you are introduced.
No. So you don't determine how I'm introduced on this particular show.
You introduce.
I'm saying you can't take that away from him if he says that's how he wants to be identified.
Yes, that is how it is.
Yes.
But all his posturing here clearly shows that.
Oh, because I am not allowing him to lie.
So let's
how many programs have
you didn't even point out the single.
You didn't say there's none of Ivan's comment have sat on the program. No, don't cut my beg of you.
No.
He sat on this program to defend the youth or speak on behalf of the youth, at least representing the youth voice. He's never, other than to
because I'm not allowing him to lie.
So which lie?
If you don't have
you point out the single lie.
Come on, just right to your point. Let's hear you.
I have a number of constituencies here that were in contention, as Awal said.
Okay, right.
Here they are. We have Domi Kwabenya, Okankwe Central,
and who has disputed that?
But you never.
We won all. No. You didn't even mention.
Guys, hold on. Just straight to your point. Yes.
Now, my point is this: on this Pandai issue, you see, I'm happy that I belong to a political party that you cannot underestimate our resolve. In 1992, even against the might of Jerry John Rawlings, we didn't attend parliament, yet we stood against a person who had transitioned from a military regime into a democratic regime. So let the likes of Ivan and those watching us out there know that the MPP, even if we have 10 members of parliament currently, we can stand the might of the NDC, hold them accountable, and make sure that every single thing they bring to parliament, even regardless of the number we have, we'll scrutinize it thoroughly. So let no people underestimate the fact that our numbers are dwindling, or maybe there is going to be another elections there about.
Do you honestly think that you would win the Pandai seats back?
oh sure, we'll win it back.
Are you certain?
In fact, yes, people are beginning.
I just said it's a
people
known NDC.
Are beginning to
But
get disappointed with the posturing of the NDC in government, because now they are in government. They use Tagri to snatch some of the seats, and now they think they have the power of the state. They will still use it and come after the NPP and snatch some of the seats. And I know the good people of Pandai will not allow the NDC to get away with this act they've done. Now, coming to the reliefs. Truth be told, part of the reliefs the person took to court, I think that's where I agree with Awal that this thing was about 41 polling stations.
Yeah, but I'm asking you that logical question, that if you have infractions in as many as 41 polling stations, are you saying that cannot have an overall impact on the outcome?
Not only that.
That's the question I'm asking.
But the star witness in the case says that
I'm going beyond. I'm giving you, because the law works with logic.
We can't go beyond what was presented in court.
Yeah, but the law works.
How do we go beyond what was presented in court?
Okay, but I'm asking the question, that are you saying that if you have as many as 41 polling stations having infractions, that would not have an overall impact on the outcome of the elections?
The total number of votes, according to the witness, will amount to 500 votes.
Yes.
Tell me how that will affect the election.
3,700.
Out of somebody winning over 3,000 votes. If all the 500 were to be given to the NDC parliamentary candidate, it will still be.
But I'm saying that the integrity of the electoral process has been breached. Do you agree?
How?
Or if there are as many as 500 infractions, that's what you're saying.
That's what I'm saying, that if you say it will only be breached that if the 500 vote will have some consequential effect on the results. Maybe let's say that if the 500 is given or is taken out, then maybe the margin that will be left might be some 100 thereabout. Then that one will all clearly.
You're assuming that you believe wholly what the star witness is saying.
In this case, the margin of victory is clearly wide, that nobody should even think of contesting. There is a grand scheme in place that once cases are taken there, they will ensure that things are done. Because this is
because we don't have evidence for that.
That's why I'm we are in this country that where the court said that 3 polling stations be run in Ablekmanov. We ended up having how many polling stations? 19.
Yes.
They should tell you the kind of grand scheme in place.
Okay. Some more takers before we go to Rashid, and I'll come back to you, Awal, and the others. Yes. Yeah, go ahead. You have a microphone with you. Yes.
This morning, I feel very, very sad as a Ghanaian youth to sit in this studio and hear my brothers here deliberate on issues with their biased position. My brother right in front of me here, before he began his argument, he first of all introduced himself as belonging to a group that is affiliated to the NPP. Yes. But I believe that as we sit here today, let us put aside our political affiliations and let us talk to the issues straightforward. Talking about the issue of Panda, there is only one underlying factor, which is the fact that the electoral outcome of 41 polling stations have violated the regulations of the Electoral Commission. Awal, is that true or false?
Yeah, that is true.
True. So that means the credibility of the election
of the 41
is undermined.
But that's what I'm saying. The credibility of the elections, Awal, what do you think? It's been affected.
There is a precedence in this country. There was 6 polling stations in Akotia, which the NDC won. That was what brought Baba Jamal to Parliament in 2012.
Thank you very much, Awal. But the
you understand? So you can annul this.
No, you don't tell the judge what to do.
That is what he asked for.
I get it.
That is what the NDC person asked for.
Let's proceed.
He didn't call for annulling.
Let's listen to the gentleman. Yes.
You finish and let me.
Awal, please lower your voice and let us get to the issue straight.
So
he answered my question that the underlying factor is the fact that 41 polling stations recorded irregularities and violations. Therefore, we can say that the credibility of the election is in doubt. It means the voice of the people of Panda has been undermined by the rogue electoral official that conducted that very election.
But they're saying that limited to just what you have.
If not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4, not 5, about 41 different polling stations, there has been violations. Then it means that what about the rest?
But look at the numbers there.
Why should there
Let me make a point here.
Let them finish.
No. Let me make a point before he continues. If somebody says that the court, if somebody says that
the court also have
allow when I was speaking useful to allow
speaking for you.
Listen. If somebody says that the court,
someone has hijacked your my name.
Please, you know what?
You see what he's doing?
Just hold on. Let's listen to the gentleman, and then I'll give
you come here as a propagandist of a political. Where did you pass before coming? Is that particular place for
okay, gentlemen, hold on. Let's listen to the gentleman.
So
yes,
I believe.
We'll listen to him. Yeah,
I believe in the legal processes, and I believe that the NDC took the right step by presenting the case to the court, and the court has made a decision. As citizens, let us obey the decision of the court. That is as simple as
okay. Any more takers? Yes, there's a gentleman there. I'll give you the time, gentlemen. I'll give you the time. Don't worry. I'll give everybody a chance to speak. Yes, go ahead.
So just a short comment on the Kwandai elections.
No, it's fine.
I think that the NDC government has really, endorsed criminalities when it comes to our election cycle, right? Because looking at the reactions that took place in that very election, I mean the 2024 elections, mobilizing the youth and party supporters to vandalize the coalition center and all that, and now coming back to the court, contesting that very seat again, I think that they are setting a bad precedent, and we hope they don't complain in the next election in case anything happens. Can I please?
Go ahead.
Make
go ahead.
A point?
Go ahead.
Now,
just go ahead.
with even the numbers that they have in Parliament, let's ask ourselves, what exactly have they been able to guess? Well, the figures look very exciting. They look very exciting, but it is not reflecting in the life of the Ghanaian people.
I see. Okay, here's what. Yeah, just land on that. Yeah.
Right. It is not reflecting in the life of the Ghanaian
the audience.
What are we seeing in the market? The last time when the finance minister was in Parliament reading the budget, we heard him saying loudly that Anwa rice, whatever, has reduced. Yes. I don't know the particular market that he went to.
Why your rice is not reduced?
Exactly. If you go to the market right now, if you go to the Kenke seller right now,
how much are you buying your Kenke?
Please, I beg you. I didn't interrupt you. Please, just. So what I'm saying is that.
Allow the guy. Allow the guy to speak.
So Mr. Host, what I'm saying is that with everything that they have in Parliament, they have not been able to implement or argue on anything at all that they propagated in opposition. Now we are still having people unemployed in the house. Where is the formula 133? Where is it? They've not been able to implement it with the numbers that they have in Parliament.
That's what I want us to do. Let's go online. Let's hear from Rashid Tanko Computer. I understand he's been with us for quite some time now. Alaji, thank you for your time. The point about what the NDC plans to do now. Why wouldn't you just? You have so many seats in Parliament. Why wouldn't you just allow the NPP to just retake this elections and have their candidate back in Parliament? Will you contest? Are you campaigning if the seats becomes vacant?
Let me say good morning to you and Awal, as well as Ivan and the audience in the studio.
Right.
I wish I could join you people in the studio, but I'm on my way to Kwandai. I'll be taking off any time soon.
Oh, you're going to Kwandai already?
Yes.
What are you going to do in Kwandai, by the way?
Oh, we are putting ourselves together for the election. We are preparing the ground.
Why won't you wait for the court?
Well, the court has pronounced, so we follow through. We are law-abiding people, and then so we have to follow through the court pronunciations, and then the order has been directed to the second respondent to take appropriate actions, and then we are following through. But let me go straight to the point. My good brothers, your party is not helping you. Especially my good friend Awal is a communicator, but your party is not helping you at all. They have refused to tell you people the truth of what transpired in the court from January 2025, that is 25th January 20, when we filed the petition up to Monday when it was ruled. They have not given you the truth. We filed with 14 reliefs. We're seeking 14 reliefs. 14, 1, 4, 1, 2, 3, up to 14. Not 1 hour. It's not 1.
I spoke to the lawyer.
We haven't filed with only 1 relief. 14 of them. That's what I'm saying. They are not helping you people. Today, I'm going to forward the written address filed by first respondent, which is the MPP candidate, then now MP, former MP. Written address filed for and on behalf of the first respondent by counsel for the first respondent. I'm going to forward to you. It was filed on the 14th of November 2025. And he made reference to our 14 reliefs, all of them, one by one. One by one. And he was going to respond to each of the reliefs, while the judge set aside the 14 reliefs. One of them is the 14, the 41 he's talking of. The 41 polling stations that we submitted as evidence of having violated Regulation 43 of CI 127. That is the enabling regulation that we use to collate parliamentary resource. Now, when you are to collate parliamentary resource, you use 2 types of forms. We have the Form 1C and the Form 1D. The Form 1C is the aggregation of all the polling stations. That is the 152 polling stations. You put everything there. Then you sum it up, extract the summaries, and go and put it on Form 1D, which is what we call the summary sheet, and use that one to declare. Now, in one of our reliefs, I'm going to read it to him, and I'll forward it to you so that they don't think that I'm reading
sure. You can I'll share that with our.
I'll forward it to your producer right away after this. Now listen to what their own. I'm reading from their own written address to the court, and they are making reference.
We want the reliefs first, so that we.
Good. A declaration.
He's reading that up.
I'm speaking from your reliefs, your own relief. A declaration that the non-compliance with Regulation 43 of the Public Elections Regulation 2020 CI 127 affected the entire results of the parliamentary election held in Kyei constituency on 7th December 2024, thereby rendering the said results as void.
Okay, so you're looking at the entire outcome. The entire outcome.
Yes, at the entire outcome. That relief is there. That's D. Relief D. Follow order. Relief E. An order setting aside the declaration of the parliamentary election results, affecting all the 152 polling stations. An order setting aside the parliamentary results of Kyei constituency for non-compliance with Regulation 42 of the Public Election Regulation this, and then an order directed to second and third respondents to conduct a rerun. Listen, a rerun of the parliamentary election in Kyei constituency on an account of this. So
even if those two reliefs are granted, then it means the court can call for re-elections.
Beautifully. So you see, you send to court certain reliefs. The court will look at your reliefs. And the court in this thing, if you look at it, even the last one, we even ask that any orders that the honorable court may deem fit to make.
Our discretion is working there. Yeah.
So that's another discretion the court has. So
I would like to come in.
We have all.
There's a question for you. There's a question for you from
Awal. When you check, there was no violation that occasioned the nullification of the entire results that happened in the CI 127.
No, can you explain that?
Yes, because you see, what the MP sought to do is that because he was not at the collation center in Tamale, and that was the only reason he said the entire result should be annulled, and that does not nullifies the results.
But are you saying? I mean, I will explain that.
I'm saying that I spoke to our lawyer before I even had a conversation with this platform on Wednesday. I was on this platform on Wednesday, and I spoke to the lawyer, and one of the lawyers was also called on the show, and he also explained
but the lawyer who lost the case. He's reading the reliefs to you.
The lawyer who lost the case.
And is that new?
Yeah.
Losing the case.
The lawyer who lost the case, and you were expecting him to tell you something different. What kind of argument is this?
Rashid Tanko,
I'm saying that in the reliefs, the NDC sought the nullification of only 41 police stations.
But what is reading to us entire elections? If you say that,
he will only hold it for everyone.
Oh, you want to see the document?
Exactly. But I'm saying that
we'll get that on the screen.
They went seeking for only 41. But then they said, I'm coming.
Yeah, okay.
In the same relief, they said that because he was not present at the police center in Tamale.
Who was not present? Hold on, Ivan, hold on.
The NDC candidate was not present.
Okay, yes, Rashid, yes,
please. You say you are truncating me. I told you I'm truncating.
Yeah,
you know what?
Sorry, Rashid.
My brother, there was no relief because we're not present in Tamale.
How can that be a relief?
There's nothing like that. We don't have any relief like that.
It is there. It is part of
it. Which part? If you have the document, just
I don't know where you are getting.
No, he's sending that. If you also have your document,
I'm sending it to you.
Yes, yeah, right.
We have our 14 reliefs here. In your own lawyer made reference to it in his written submissions. And I've just quoted copiously from the submission of your own written address.
Your lawyer's
and I'm telling you that
so that at least
we don't have. You see, we have to educate the general public appropriately and let them understand this. We should take out propaganda of this. And then when it comes to propaganda, I know NPP, you are masters of it. But let's face the facts. The truth of the matter is
propaganda secretary in our party. You who had propaganda secretaries in our party.
Please, can we?
No, Rashid, just go ahead. You're the one who has the floor now. Yes, you have the floor now.
Let's sanitize it.
You have the floor. You have the floor. Just go ahead. Yes.
Now, what I'm saying is that these reliefs that we sent to the High Court, some of the reliefs were denied. Some were denied, and some were upheld. We are all waiting for the final ruling to come out, and then we'll see which of the areas that the trial judge used to ask that there should be a rerun, because we seek for the rerun. We ask for it, and we ask that the fact that Regulation 43 of CI 127 was violated, was not followed through. I have the proceeding. I can even forward the proceedings of the court to you too, and the proceedings was very clear when questions were thrown at the second respondent, which is the Electoral Commission. When they are talking about this violence and all that, the Electoral Commission officer who came in there, who was cross-examined, could not identify his own videos that he brought as exhibit. So for somebody to think that the violence was occasioned by NDC, in court, there was nothing like that. They all ran away from that through cross-examination. They cross-examined the gentleman when he was trying to say that our petitioner led a team to come and vandalize the place. He denied it in all his whole to this, and that's why we say that when God wants to kill you, he first makes you mad. When you become mad, then he now leads you to the death. And that's why they brought the same videos. When they were cross-examined on the same video, they denied knowledge of certain things in that video again. So you see, these are the things. When you can speak outside the way you are speaking, but when it is court, speak proof. Speak proof.
I was asking
that we've been following through this.
Yeah, I was asking the question earlier that don't you have more than enough seats in Parliament, Rashid Tanko?
The truth of the matter is that parliamentary democracy is about representation. It's not about numbers. It's about representation. You are representing a group of people in a particular constituency. So they will decide who they want, and they do the decision through voting. That's how they exercise their expressions.
I'm asking the question because take a look at Tamale Central, for instance, when that unfortunate incident happened. You had your brothers in the NPP saying, you know what, we just don't want to be a part of this exercise. Just grab your seats back. Why would you do the same for Matthew Nyinam?
This is not the first time a political party chicken out from contesting parliamentary election. You remember the by-election at Ejisu? We didn't participate. NDC didn't participate. We all do our calculations. Political parties do their calculations before they go into elections. When they were doing the by-election at Ejisu, when my good friend, may he rest in perfect peace, died, we didn't go there. We allowed them. We did our own calculation and realized that no, there was no need for us to.
Which means you're aiming at winning the Pandai seat. You believe you can win that?
And that's what I'm telling you. When we do our calculation, we know we are going to win. We need the people proper representation there, and then we are going in strongly. As I speak now, I have my team in there. We are doing the groundwork. They are there talking and doing press conferences. This is how they would lose election, and then they'll come back and be crying foul. Just let us go there. It's a beautiful game. I like it when we are together in the game business and selling our ideas to the people, what we can do for them and all that. Then we can have a very peaceful process. We did it at Kotia here recently. We went there. Both of us were there. It was lovely. When they said they were leading us by some 2,000 votes, and I always pointed out to them that, look, you use a rigging machinery. You know, the NPP, they have an appetite of rigging elections. And we have appetite of catching them. That's the fact. And I did it several. I told them that election was rigged by 2,000 votes. And we demonstrated it. When we went to Akotia, did you see that vote again? Did you see there are 2,000 votes? Did you see it emanating? It was a rigged one. So then they sit down here and they're talking about some 3,000 votes. Let me tell you, we demonstrated in court that these 3,000 things that they are talking of were all rigged votes. That is why it should be nullified. All the 152 polling stations should be nullified. The 41 was just exhibit to show how the rigging machinery was put in motion. The 41, it wasn't that we're asking for only 41 to be nullified.
Right.
That's what we are telling them. And I'm telling them that, look, this verdict, look, they are wasting their time. They should go and prepare themselves. Because wherever they are going, we are going to follow them. We have the evidence. We will follow them through to the court and make sure that as for Monday, the gentleman who ceased to be an MP on Monday, I'm telling them, we know what they have found. You are the minority leader was in court yesterday, Parliament yesterday, asking for the ruling. You don't have the ruling yet. You went ahead and filed. What kind of hypocrisy is that? They have already filed. You have filed an appeal. So why are you asking for a ruling? If you don't know the ruling, why then were you filing? What are you filing? On what grounds are you filing? And then we went ahead and filed a notice of a motion of stay of execution.
Okay.
They granted them 17th December to come and move that motion. So on Monday, he ceases to be an MP.
Yeah, because
until 17th December, he will go to court to move his motion for whether to find out whether he will continue to be there or not.
Okay.
For now, by Tuesday, the seat is completely vacant, and we will make sure that we call on Electoral Commission to fix date for the elections, and we'll move ahead. We are doing our work over there.
Awal, the NDC says they'll go ahead and campaign.
Yes,
are you ready?
I mean,
come to think of it, if Matthew Nyindam is that strong, winning the seats for more than twice, why not go through the process again and just have him win?
So in 2024, some people queued and voted for him.
Okay.
And he won with 3,700 votes. After that, some people argued that there were infractions in 41 polling stations, and they wanted the court to declare those 41 null and void. Again, they raised the issue. I still insist that they raised the issue that the MP was not at the collation center in Tamale. And that is the reason. If you have your
documents, you can just read them.
I'm reading from my Joy online.
I know. I'm just saying.
I'm coming. So what he's saying is not true. That they did not say that the MP was not there. This is according to the lawyer who spoke to Joy News. He said,
the lawyer written address is here. You are talking.
You are a lawyer. Your lawyer spoke to Joy News and said that he argued in court that because the MP was not in Tamale. This is something that he spoke to Joy News and he said that.
Tamale, so what?
So the entire elections must be annulled.
Read the
come on.
But
that's that. I think we are turning the story to something.
Lawyer for the NDC's Daniel Wakpal, speaking after the court proceeding, insisted that the case was very simple, arguing that the Electoral Commission district officer acted in breach of the law and denied the client the right to participate fully in the collation process.
Can I ask you a question?
I'm coming.
Yeah, okay.
I'm coming. He explained that the EC unlawfully relocated the collation center without notifying the candidates, preventing the NDC candidate from exercising his rights, including asking for recounts and challenging the irregularities. So let's stand here. The NDC youth organizer, I'm coming. Okay. The NDC youth organizer for Kwandai was at the collation center.
Okay, but can I ask you?
He was the rep and an assign of the MP because the MP knew he had lost the elections. He did not go to Tamale.
You just said,
and that is the reason we're saying that if the court is minded, you annul only the 41 because the absence of the MP at the coalition center doesn't nullify the entire
You just had Rashid read out the reliefs to you.
He did not. He's reading from his book that he has written.
He's
sending it to you
because I've been sending that. We'll put down a screen shortly. Yes.
Blazer, can I
Rashid,
give it to your people?
Just forward that. We'll read that. Okay, you have doubts. You have doubts. It's fine. Yeah, Ivan.
Can I come in? Okay. I think that let us try and set the record straight so that people will understand what actually happened. When somebody goes to court, and let's say the person put up 3 reliefs, specific reliefs, then you add any other relief that the court may deem necessary, so far as the whole contest or the case is concerned. So in that case, the court is granted, or the court is armed with that power, that prerogative, after looking through all the documents available, the court can make such pronouncement. And again, listening to Rashid Tanko, the kind of relief that he read, clearly the NDC was seeking for the annulment of the entire election because its credibility was tainted. And in the ruling, the judge made it quite clear and instructed the Electoral Commission to go and do credible elections.
The ruling?
I'm telling you, no, now essence of it was read in court.
There was no
I'm saying that the judge.
It was a summary that was read.
You don't even know. No. The essence of it was read in court. And the Electoral Commission.
You don't even know the court process. I am on one side.
The meaning of this.
Rashid is on another side. You don't even have any local. What kind of this? He doesn't have any locals in discussing this because I am with Manti Lindam and he is with Wakapa.
So what I'm saying.
So you are supposed to listen.
No. You listen to your propaganda.
You are just making propaganda.
So the fact of the matter is that
why did you pass
the basis of this argument, the basis of this whole annulment hinges on the credibility of the elections, and that is what the court has justified. So I think what they should be doing now is to go to court, just like he said, to maybe stay and then go for appeal, or prepare and go and contest in the elections, and that is it. But whatever the sort of propagandist kind of argument you're putting around seeking to justify, because he made a point that the MP said he was not on the grounds, and as a result,
and that's what the lawyer said.
Listen, he said that the MP said he was not on the grounds, and that should occasion the annulment. That is such an infantile justification.
But the lawyer, I wrote from the lawyer.
No. This is because the electoral on my door online. No. What kind of
the interview you're talking about was not an affirmation by the lawyer that was what was deposed in court.
Yes, that would be.
You said speaking after the court's procedure.
Yes,
that's what
the lawyer said that.
But I'm saying
the EC official relocated the collation.
What I'm telling you, Awal.
Was it the argument in court? Was it the argument in court?
Yes, that is what your lawyer said.
No, I'm saying
that's what the NDC lawyer said.
Awal, there's a difference.
I listened to him.
But aren't you a human being? Aren't you a human being? What kind of analysis?
Let me come.
No, you're supposed to do a reasonable analysis. You cannot just base your conclusion on this particular. I'm saying that it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense for somebody to say.
Just be fair.
Awal, take your time. Take your time.
Call me a liar.
Take your time. Take your time. You see,
hold on.
The fact
I'll give you the time.
The fact of the matter is that
the
mere fact that an MP or the candidate for NDC wasn't on the ground could not be a basis for the annulment.
But your lawyer said,
and that was not what was espoused in court. The credibility of the election was in doubt. The court justified it and insisted that the whole election should be annulled. And if you look at the reliefs, among all the specific relief that the NDC sought in court, they added that any other relief that the court may seem necessary, and that is what has been granted. So it will be a sheer advertisement of ignorance to sit on TV and tell people that, they didn't ask for something and the court has granted it. That will be advertisement of ignorance. And you don't sit on TV and say that. And that is the point, because that is what he keeps saying, that, NDC asks for annulment of 44, the MP asked for 44, and the court has gone ahead. That is a lie. You don't sit on TV and tell
what is a lie?
Okay, gentlemen, let me hear from you.
What is a lie?
Thank you, Blazer.
I'll give you the time.
For giving me the opportunity. It's like, from what I'm observing, definitely one person is lying.
Oh, really?
That, yes, because every candidate had a polling agent at each polling station.
Yes.
They had their resource. So one knew that, or one definitely knows that he has lost. But because of maybe technicality or something, you want to annul the elections that people have queued to vote. Now imagine that someone moved from the north to the south or south to the north to vote, and you are saying that because there is 41 disputed issue about 41 disputed polling stations, we should annul everything.
But mind you, in the reliefs, they're saying anything that affects the entire credibility.
That is what has been ceded to them. So,
don't you feel that if there's an impact on the integrity of the exercise, there will be a rerun? Because mind you, in the CI, there's a provision for a rerun. Don't forget.
Then one person is lying to us because you had a polling agent there, so you have your resource. So on what grounds are you telling us that you've invested campaign and collation for 152 police stations? You don't have it. Then, so I think maybe going forward, we should maybe be doing away with this polling pin sheet. Let's do it electronically. A new system. At the polling station level, you have your polling agents there. We all agree this is the figures that we declared at the polling station. Now it will go to a centralized system. Everyone will have access to it,
and we can all see.
Because it's like the election day, the night, people realize that, okay, I'm losing. Then let me just lose my pin sheet and go and cause confusion at the collation center. After that, we'll go to court and use technicality to annul the results. So maybe I think going forward, that's what we should do.
Okay, interesting point there. Yes, let me hear you.
Okay, so me, I'll be neutral here. I don't want to stand anywhere.
You want to be neutral?
Yeah.
Okay, let's see about that. Let's see about that.
Okay, so this is now an illegal issue. It's not a political issue because the issue is in court and we are dealing with the system. So the system must work. So the NPP thinks they have not been favored since they have won a huge margin, and they think because of the huge margin they should be declared a winner. And then this also have been favored because it's a fair, because they are going for a rerun, and rerun will favor either both of the parties. Because
who do you think that will favor? You want to be independent, but
I don't think I can have a
I see all that. I see you.
I think he's hiding behind neutrality. Definitely, from all indications, because there's the notion that if you are closer to the national cake, the idea of you getting the cake sound is high. So the NDC candidate will definitely use that idea to campaign. And then from elections that we've observed, by elections, it's clear that the party in power ends up maybe
so you're trying to say, because no, see, come on. Why wouldn't you just mobilize your people, go in there? If truly you have a grassroots group, just go into Pandai and just campaign for the NPP so you can win the seat back.
But we've not denied the fact that if everything is settled, we wouldn't go back there to contest.
Are you sure you're not scared? Because looking at the historical records, I mean, if you watch politics over the period, anytime there's a by-election and you have a ruling party coming through, marshalling all of its efforts and resources, that will give you that will give you a really tough time. Yes.
I'm not scared. Opposition parties have won elections. But the only thing I'm scared is that there's a new trend set by the NDC where Tagri has taken over our elections. So if you ask me whether I'm scared, that is the only aspect that I'm scared. If you've seen the video recently, just quite recently, I think about 2 days or so, where the NDC guys in Pandai are on rampage, tearing the posters of the MP, bringing the billboards down.
Just after the
sheer lawlessness. So if you ask me where my fear is going to come from, it is something like this. Because if an MP's issue is in contention, what's that? And there's a law about defacing. Even when you deface somebody's poster, it's a crime. But you have openly, and none of the NDC executives have come out to condemn it. Because if the issue is settled and the person is going back to campaign, he will need his billboards again. But these are the billboards being brought down. So that is the only fear I have, that they know that they are going to lose the election. So they have started preparing the grounds for Tagri to make sure that people will get scared not to come out there to vote, so that they will take advantage of the situation. But lastly, I think when the likes of, this is the second time I'm having issue with Rashid Computer, when his likes come on stations, they should speak responsibly. The fact that his NDC director of IT, he's now an appointee of government. So when he's talking on the basis that taxpayers' money are used to pay him. For one to come on air and speak recklessly that the NPP is very good at rigging elections without producing any evidence, I want to say that
But you just said the NDC was known for tagging.
Sorry?
You just said the NDC was known for tagging.
Oh, but there's evidence to it. I've pointed to billboards being destroyed.
You know, you're the political party.
You see, bless
anyway,
you didn't exact him to any standard of producing evidence. I have mentioned.
Same way I give you a leeway on
is evidence enough. What they are doing recently in Panda. I just told you that destroying billboards. Is that not tagging enough?
Okay, I don't want to go into the political question. Look, this is what I want to do. Many of you have been questioning Rashid Computer on the reliefs. We have that. Let's put that on the screen so at least everybody has a view of that. Look, a declaration that the parliamentary elections held in Pandai on December 7 was void, first of all, by virtue of irregularities and inconsistencies contained in Form 8A, Regulation 32, that's 32 clause 7, that's 39 clause 2, statement of polls for the office of the Member of Parliament, the pink sheets, and 41 polling stations out of a total of 152, 52 polling stations in the Pandai constituency. A declaration that the irregularity is contained in Form 8A, Regulation 32.7, and also 39.2 in terms of the statement of polls for the office of the Member of Parliament, the pink sheets, and of course the total polling stations in the Pandai constituency has extensively prevailed and reasonably affected the results of the elections held in the Pandai constituency on the 7th of December 2024. A declaration that, and this is where you have to pay attention to, Awal. Yeah. Look at the D, because that settles the issue. A declaration that the non-compliance with Regulation 43 of the Public Elections Regulation 2020 CI 127 affected, quote, and I'm quoting that to you, the entire results of the parliamentary elections held in the Pandai constituency on December 7, 2024, thereby rendering the said results as void.
Okay. So the Regulation 43 of the elections is saying that you do not unanimously move.
That's not what I'm asking. Well, I'm saying that you're talking about the release. I'm talking about the release.
I'm saying, I'm coming.
Because if you send a relief to court, the court can stand on that and grant it or either dismiss it.
We argue that this did not occasion any.
That's your argument. I'm talking about what the court granted. You made a case that the court granted what was beyond.
I'm saying
no. You were clear.
This is the charge sheet.
Well, ahead. Just hold on. I asked that question. I'll give you the time to respond. You were clear that the court gave beyond what it could give.
Yes.
And I'm saying that here's a relief that someone has sent to court saying that, quote, the entire result of the parliamentary elections.
We are not. Yes. So the relief, he says,
it should be void.
Okay. So he said a declaration non-compliance with Regulation 43. What is Regulation 43?
No, I'm saying. Why?
Why will you know that?
Well, I'll give you the time. I'm just saying.
You ask me, and I'm speaking, and you have also interjected.
I want you to pay attention to the word. Entire results.
Yes.
The entire results.
Yes.
It's part of the release.
Okay, so I'm coming.
Yes.
A declaration that non-compliance with Regulation 43 of the public regulations of CI 127. That regulation is saying that you cannot move the collation center without without involvement of the other parties. Now, that was his argument, that indeed it was moved, the electoral commissioner moved it without him. And we argued that in the room that the collation was done in Tamale, his youth organizer was there. So that this one has not been breached.
Whatever the
I'm saying that the deed has not been breached.
Yes, I'm saying whatever the argument, a court has effectively made a ruling and granted the relief that the person.
So that is why I'm saying that we are in court now.
Okay, right.
We are in court now.
Okay, let's do that.
To argue, we are in court now.
I get that.
To set aside what the court had done.
All right.
So that's it.
Ivan, do you think the NPP would win if there's a rerun?
Oh, I'm not sure. I'm not sure because I think the incumbency advantage will definitely play in NDC's advantage. And looking at the posturing in the position and the way Awal and his people are talking, I'm not sure they'll be able to convince anybody because even with the relief that has been that were being sought in court, it's quite clear that the person called for the annulment, and his argument is that this particular relief does not contravene the CI in question, but the CI is a tall document enumerating a number of regulations as to how an election should be conducted. Because I think as communicator, we must acquaint ourselves with the fact instead of coming on, rather than coming on TV and be saying things at the behest of our personal emotions and stuff. If you acquaint yourself with the fact, I am not sure we'll be making such argument. This relief was sought in court, and the court, after examining all the facts available, including the pink sheet, because don't forget that the credibility of the pink sheet were also in doubt. Even the machines, the verification machines were even in doubt because according to reports, some of them were even tampered with, and it were part of some of the argument that people were making. So it's a whole lot of relief and argument that were in contention, and the court, after examining all these things, came into a conclusion that while the integrity of the election was tainted, and for that matter, I cannot allow this election to stand. If you have doubt, you can proceed to court just like he is saying, and then have your day in court.
So I've always been saying, say, oh, MPP Nina, so MPP communicator, where do my heading, Papa? I do about Quaka, Kuruma, heading. I know beyond a best small. Namum, arrogant, subamboni, any nyemuhunti, wow, the fato huso, a being MPP communicator. So, we MPP communicator, hey, what you made him, Papa, and oh, some 2 years no, and some sebi, any question we are no crana, no yano. Being MPP communicator is one of the most annoying and one of the most difficult job in this country, because you say among who the amunye economy ni jina na so dollar rate wa above from nyama ba tete so petrol above from economy inflation above from just say over bibia yeah go for can say ya tete so eye hu afenyo is what abukan say ato is forcing into MPP for a hook pa brim and ato so into omo communicators called television radio stations are the akamwa propaganda any sema any media sabi a woman any cancer omo kamu anasa omo any cancer omo de politics na no omo de tu afra no masha se na vu na fedie omo din throw ifa home. Awal Mohammed, I've told you that this guy is one of the most corrupt and one of the most useless MPP communicator, especially on the social media space. I've been watching this guy closely with my one eye, and you say, "Do you know Atatia? As if say or kind of obwa." He is not saying the truth. He has never in his life say the truth, because MPP Adenya na buying power until he's fighting with his last blood to make sure say the party will come to power. Hey, Awal Mohammed, I'm telling you, oh man, no, they want me say man, no. Yes, this is in Chamaun to me's voice and what body language. No question, the woman say MPP, no amount of lines, no amount of what propaganda will bring you back in 2028. Although you all understand, say politics there, dynamics, and sometimes obim kasi say nebisi, but through the activities of the government, the policies of the government, and the ajumo be now man who but let me tell you and let me assure you, through God who strengthened John Dramani Mahama, any NBC, Yama Mijin Professor Pukunana, our vice president, NDC government will ever succeed. They will succeed because they have started well and they will end well. That is all that I can say, and that is all that I can also see. Into your MPP communicator, Now we got the studios of Joy Prime. Now we need your better. You better kick off. Mon fanche moti no isibu echira. Ensuo ene esim what I see. Ensuo na eto. Enti monfa enche papa. But on the more serious note, you know, mama you say NPP for na omuti TV so muye de demi na no. Owusi kasa. So they are waiting for their government to come. Then they will start losing. Sa Awal Mohammed way etna TV should di Mahamane NPP NDC for atem in the name of Sebomia Ashenum Furma Brand NPP for power. This guy has been receiving money from the what? The party headquarters. And you know, social media, no, your band and some of the can to defame and what? To tarnish the image of NDC. But because Ghanaians in their own goodwill, Ghanaians in their own sound mind, see say ampa NDC abanya, they can promote, they can transform, they can what? Develop this country to a different level no government can do. And let me preach on. I have to preach because sometimes some Ivan Akwakitwa way at one na old school Awal Mohammed pointing to say, but still yet block-headed person you have decided not to listen. And the young for being so tibanko so binu muni dumadi o mo abeti na studio ho no ma o mo so agi microphone and o mo ka de o mo pe. This is where our democracy has brought us to. So be it we can do opera na no nche say ogi microphone a obetimi akasa bi anything rubbish, excuse my language, anything rubbish, anything dumb, garbage, anything fruity bia na yetikroma yemu de ekoso NPP for asem ko munye ndi wie because of almost scandal and ko for mo wie sika mani memo mu de unsa bo sika enye sika ketwa hanan hisika awawia allegedly the chairman wuntumi eniema sebi wafum ediaman who through Azim Bank any galamse ayi I don't want to know who de wokana ye pandai one seat we na wonyabre wo ho. And I've told you, me catch the pandai for say no kware ye ba kope mutena se na mokoto aba de MPP a development ne ebeso mufu but na che because obia woni ba ne ba na wo no make sure so be take care of ne ba no before say obi ba wo ho no manase na damfo bi anani nya bi ba hiam wo a obekwa akoboa no simply means NDC parliamentary NDC parliamentarians you know omunye nyamwa emom constituent there is no way MPP parliamentary candidate or whoever MPP parliamentarian will get that support. Take it from me, and it is final. And besides, they were President Akufo-Addo who say ampa say ye to buy election ye shall buy your this one ya foreman ya former MP yankotoma independent candidate. For example, okudna ejisobra nan ayewura ampontia jonkuma enye ne ba bi koye okachire kwame oduomi so motoma oduomi a ontimi man ho meji development ampoina pampa omotoma kwabena boatin ano ye MPP ni tatashi. It tells you something. Into your pandemia jina Akufo-Addo na yini so wedu kwa ne format na obeka na se we kan se nkra ni philosophy ono ni philosophy ono no develop here the philosophy ni so na fire the for make decision for yourself before it will be too late, before it will be what too late. Make a decision for yourself before it become too late. I am saying it. Go and vote for NDC because NDC can give you development. For the past 4 years, 8 years in Yamotuma MPP ni ewo pandai ho na dia de papa na waye dia mama pandai ho. I am asking you, dia de papa na pandai for manya motuma MPP aban. It tells you say MPP aban enya de papa bia de mamo in pandai constituency. So therefore this is a clear and a very good opportunity for you to what vote for the NDC candidates. Then you go your way. My name for so be like share subscribe to the channel. Hanum still remains your number one authentic platform and medical cash myself in so air talk into what ye noise be a wachira abusia for na odi ache me man share that in so and air talk baby and we see one of the most populous region in so air talk hopa good. Once again, happy birthday to me Papa John Germany Mahama. And you'll be also and they will do birthday piano. Happy birthday once again. Bye bye.